Greetings this fine evening, artists. Welcome to another episode of Eminent Design. On this All Hallows Eve, we will be painting something really creepy, and I'm gonna be teaching you how. Let's get started. Before we start painting, I just gotta return some of these tools that I have with me in the forest. Alright artists, we just gotta return this coat. It's been a long day. It's gonna be a long night, so now we can start heading back home and yeah, we can do some painting. So. Alright artists, I managed to escape that, whatever the hell that thing was. We have to head back home, finish the painting. We'll be safe there. I'll see you there. Alright guys, let's look at this painting now that we're back home and safe. So I start with the canvas with something like 3000 by 1500 I think. And yeah, as usual I just toned it down a little bit. And I start off with a sort of a bluish tint to this painting. I'm thinking something like a car scene where some giant ghost or something like that will be there. So it'll be interesting to see how this turns out for you guys. So you see I'm just doing broad strokes on this painting. And by the way, I will read some of these comments that you guys have been posting meanwhile you're watching this, and happy Halloween. Let's try to do some art now. There's a challenge going on right now in the Evident platform, so you can join that if you want to up your skills. So what I'm doing now, I'm basically gonna do this entire painting in one layer, and I'm just doing a road. You know, you don't have to use too many layers. I usually use layers more when I want to try something out that I'm not completely sure if I will like. Instead of doing like Control Z, you know, undo, redo, all that stuff, I just make a new layer and I can play around with it. And you'll see some of that in a bit. So you see here, I'm not really caring too much. I'm just putting down bold strokes and getting started here. Getting some perspective into this scene with this road. So let me just go through some of these comments here while you're watching this painting. Hope you guys are doing good this All Hallows Eve weekend. So I got another question here from oh, right now I'm just actually making a new layer where I'm not sure if I wanted to have this forest here. So I'm using this forest brush. I think this is a cool brush. Just adds forest like that. So it's pretty cool. You can try that yourself. You can download the Evident brush pack by joining the platform and just downloading it there. But yeah, so Aline Kretu asks, "Hi Walid, thank you for your video. Just a quick question. Can you help me with a small advice? How should I start, or any tips for landscapes digital painting? I'm in front of Photoshop with just a blue sky on layer and I'm trying to figure out what I should draw or paint. I do not have any ideas clearly in my mind. I feel that every time I'm trying to paint something, it's the same scenery, blue sky, and I'm stuck in the background. No idea, blank." So yeah, I actually got some responses here from the community, and now I'm just putting down some mists, by the way, some pretty simple ones. So I think when you don't really know what to do, what to paint, it's really good to just get started. Just start jotting down some ideas. Make a mountain here, or make a river there, or some character, or maybe a cloud or something, or a cave, or maybe a building. Whatever comes to your mind, just paint it. Or even if nothing comes to your mind, you should just sketch out some big shapes and think about the design principles that I'm teaching. The big and the middle shapes, and then the small shapes. So you want to have like mostly big shapes, and then a few medium shapes and some small shapes to get a good proportional balance with your paintings. There's a lot of design principles that I teach in my cinematic design course, but you do want to try to keep in mind those main design principles that are pretty simple to get started with. And that's kind of having some mostly big shapes. Like you can see in this painting right now, I have mostly big shapes. Like the forests, that's actually like one big shape. And then you have the road, which is a big shape. And like if you squint your eyes, you can see that there's not too many shapes here that are too big. And then you see some medium shapes, which is perhaps like the road there is a sort of a medium shape. And then some small shapes everywhere, which is the leaves and those road marks. And that gives it a pretty balanced look. So once you have those design principles, you can actually start generating a bunch of ideas very quickly without worrying too much if it will look good or not. You just put down some stuff and it will probably look good because it has solid fundamental design principles. So I hope that helps. Let's continue here. Mustafa Berke Güreltul, sorry if I butchered that name, asks, do you have a video on how to set up a scene for perspective or landscape paintings? Yeah, I do actually, but here on the painting you can see now I'm adding this this super creepy stuff. I don't even know what I'm doing. It's just like really creepy stuff. I thought of like floating ghosts or something, but then I wanted to have something even scarier, like super big shapes walking around, kind of Stranger Things like, really strange stuff. And you see, this is also just like a medium shape. I'm not thinking too much about anatomy or about too many other things. I'm just putting down shapes that are kind of creepy, like long, slender stuff. That's pretty creepy, you know? So this I'm doing on a separate layer just because maybe I don't like it and I have this gradient in the sky, so it will be kind of bad to paint it straight on one layer, and maybe I want to change that. So I'm just playing around with these designs here. So yeah, about the video on how to set up a scene for perspective or landscape paintings. I am having some difficulty in how I should paint my landscape and fill the scene from scratch. Well, it's the same thing there, you know, you should just put down some stuff, but if you don't know like at all what to put down and you've tried and tried, then the very best way, and this goes for anyone actually, any artist, the very best way to improve in art is doing studies. You can look at other paintings and reference material and just create studies on that, because then you will learn from just doing what you see in front of you. You know, you see these shapes and you see different values and colors and stuff like that, and you start to understand how to build up your scenes and how to do your art, pretty much. So like, for example, this painting that you see in front of you here, I've done so many other studies and so many of these scenes that I know how this will look, you know, so I can just jot that down, and in just a couple of minutes I have something that you can you know, a concept. Like, it's not even 10 minutes and I've still got something. So that all comes from practicing, doing studies and doing references and just painting more and more. So but yeah, you asked if I have a video on how to set up a scene for that. You know, all of my videos are like this. I always try to explain the entire process that I do and everything that I'm doing behind them. But if you guys have any specific questions or specific anything you want to learn, then please let me know. Could you do a video where you just use basic Photoshop brushes. Renee Albrechtsen asks. Yeah, that's an awesome idea. I really like that. Where I wouldn't use anything else than super standard, like this one was chalk brush. That would be really cool, actually. I was thinking about making some video with only using, like doing a painting with only one brush. That would be pretty cool, I think. Yeah, I should do that. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments below. And if you like all this stuff, you can subscribe. And, you know, I have a bunch of these videos coming out. So, hope you enjoy what I do. So, going back to the painting here, you can see I'm still working on these creatures, gods, demons, whatever they are. And I'm trying to get them further back, and you almost shouldn't see what they are. That kind of adds the creepiness of it. If you don't know what it is you're seeing, and it's like, wait, what is that? You know, then it just becomes more and more creepy. So that's a tip for you if you're painting creepy stuff and you know you're joining the challenge. Try to make it, you know, obscure. You don't really know what it is you're seeing. And I have another video coming up right after this one, actually, where I'm showing you how to paint another super creepy painting. So they're kind of like Dementors or something like that, or I don't even know. It's just long, slender stuff is pretty creepy. And of course, glowing white eyes looking straight at you. My God. Wouldn't want to see those at night. Hey, are you a game designer? Rohit Jadhav asks. And can you do a video on pencil micron rendering? I'm not sure what micron rendering is. Pencil, yeah, I've done that. You can check out Getting Great at Sketching, or how to make your drawings look awesome. There's some stuff on that, but I'm gonna do more traditional paintings and traditional sketching and stuff like that. I think that's really good to know as an artist. And now I'm painting it, because so you see here, like in this misty scene, if I want to make this thing come pretty close to me, then I'm gonna darken it down. There'll be more contrast and more a deeper value if it's closer to us because of the atmospheric perspective. So now I wanted to have one of those giant, super close, kind of chasing you or looking at you. If you guys have seen the movie It Follows, I really love horror, so really cool. Maybe you realized that from the intro of this this episode. And here I actually thought about making this like a man that's running away. So I thought about moving the layer, but I wasn't really sure if I wanted to do that. How do you come up with these amazing landscapes? Do you just imagine it, or do you have a reference image or mix of images you combine? Leb Jamal 23 asks. It really goes back to doing studies and doing reference stuff. Like I've done so many of them, and I've painted so long that it kind of comes. It's my comfort zone. If you ask me, like, can you create a sci-fi robot, an anatomical thing, I wouldn't be able to do that too easily because I haven't done too much of that. I could, you know, it will take me time because I have the fundamentals, or I think I have that. But you know, what you practice will be what you're good at. So, for example, he's asking that specifically from the island concept art thing that I made. And yeah, I've been doing some sketches and studies from Legend of Zelda, and a few other Wind Waker, you know, and some other studies from ocean pictures. And I've been thinking about those things, you know, when I'm out sailing and I'm watching the ocean. So I'm thinking about these references, and the more you can use references and the more you can do studies, the better, because you'll just learn so much more. So now you see I've just added that extra character in there. And now I thought that the composition wasn't really proper. I thought the bottom took too much space. So I've just moved it up a bit. And you'll see here, I'm gonna take this part here and just stretch it out, stretch it up. Too much Scotty says, it's weird how I took art in school and college but learned nothing. I enjoy drawing, but I'm so shite at it. Yeah, I think the schools these days, I don't think they teach you too well. That's kind of why I've started Evident together with my partner Arn Anderson. We're both composers and we create art and stuff. So it's I think people should teach way more practical stuff, like how to actually do things. And if you want to like make money from your art, then or music, then there are ways of doing that, and there's not too much theory going on. You should just learn by doing, and the schools should help out with that. There's a big. I can go deep into that, but well, it's good that you enjoy drawing, because that's how you become good at it. Yeah, I'm getting lots of great comments from you guys. I think it's the videos are helpful, and you love my videos and the background music that I make and everything. I'm happy to hear that. Hope you enjoy what I will keep doing here. Yeah, you see here how it's just becoming more and more creepy. The scene, these giants are getting closer and closer, or wherever they are, spirits. Please kindly include the brush's name which you've used in the video. Sadman Sakib asks. Well, the thing is, if I take too much time and actually say every single brush name or brush tool or everything that I'm doing all the time over and over, that's gonna be like hours long videos, and it's just gonna be so slow that it sort of breaks me down. And that's where I want to encourage you guys to keep trying yourself. Try out the brush pack. Try them one by one. See how you can use them, and the tools and stuff that I'm using. Of course, if there's some shortcut or something you're wondering about, please do ask. I will answer. But definitely do try out yourself, because that's how you will learn. These tutorials, they're great and all, but they won't do anything unless you actually put this into practice. So like right now, when you're watching this, I suggest painting with me. Open up Photoshop, start painting, and maybe you won't even, or maybe you are doing that right now, and then you can have my voice as a background, and this video, you can just go back to it and get some inspiration. But I think you should just just paint and not really think too much about what is that brush or what is that tool or whatever that is. Unless it's something super specific, then of course you can ask that. Hey, you were great in the Game of Thrones when you fought the mountain. Yeah, I got a lot of comments that I look like Oberyn, but I took away my beard and stuff, so now I look a little bit different. ENC quoted me saying, keep painting even though you don't like what you're doing. It's always like that. Truer words have never been spoken with regard to painting. Thanks a lot for this video. Well, thank you, Ian, for being an awesome subscriber, and it's absolutely true. Even if you're not completely happy every time you're painting, just keep doing it. You'll get so much better by sticking with it. And it's fun, it's fun to keep painting. Like right now, I'm actually up here in the attic. I started doing some oil painting. Let me know if you guys want to see that, actually. Maybe I can share some of that process there. But yeah, I just started oil painting, and the first strokes that I put down weren't too good. I love Albert Bierstadt and many other painters from Scandinavia and from Holland and stuff like that, and they're so good. So I'm trying to think like, how can I replicate that with oils? But it doesn't look so good, or it looks okay, but I would like it to look better. But hey, I don't care. I'm just painting, and I think it's really fun to paint away. So I know that I will get better at it. Tic Tac Reacts um, says, my worst enemy is that for years I've taught myself to draw. I would watch videos on tips and advice, and instead of learning and developing my own way, I would always subconsciously try to mimic the artist and get absolutely nowhere. I've stunted my work into art, and I'm not sure how to get back on track. Well, you're saying that you would watch videos on tips and advice, and instead of learning and developing your own way, you would subconsciously try to mimic the artist and get absolutely nowhere. Well, I think that's actually the way to go if you don't know how to grow more. Look at your art and think, how can you improve? Where do you need to change the way you do art? And is there something about other artists that you really like? And if there is, you should reference them. You should mimic them. You should look at their work and realize what it is they're doing, because you can take that into your own artwork. It's really hard to not have your own style, just because of the way you are. You are very unique in the way you paint and everything. So I wouldn't worry too much about having your own way or anything like that. That will come, but you should definitely keep mimicking, keep referencing stuff. I think that is really the way to go to improve your skills, because you'll always have time later to try out a bunch of crazy stuff when you have the fundamentals down. So if you're not getting anywhere, I would just suggest looking at where you want your art to be. If you have a goal, if you have a direction, then you will know subconsciously where to go. Because then you'll look at art that's like, wow, I want to do it like that, and you sort of know more and more how to get to that position. So I hope that helps a little bit. I think I am gonna be the best digital artist, Ichigo Ichie Anime Essence says. Better than you or anyone. I have a vision to surpass everyone and create a beautiful world with arts that are only mine. I trying hard from now on. Well, could you please make an interesting video of futuristic city concept art tutorial? Yeah, actually, that's a cool idea. And by the way, definitely keep having great aspirations. If you want to become better than everyone everyone else, sure. I mean, that's if that's your goal and that's what's motivating you. Hey, go for it. I mean, I think that art should be done for the fun of doing it. Just creating. But who am I to say anything about where everyone gets their or where anyone gets their motivation? So, but yeah, could you please make an interesting video of futuristic city concept tutorial? Definitely, yeah. I think I should do that. I've done some of those before in my art, just some futuristic stuff. But yeah, I can definitely do some of that. That'll be cool. Akram Mad says, whenever I watch your videos, I get a boost of motivation and positive energy. Never stop making videos, my friend. Happy to hear that. So just going back to the video, to the tutorial here, you can see that I've made this car. And by the way, guys, I've done this in real time, so that's why this is kind of slow. And you should let me know if it's too slow, because then I can speed it up to like twice or something, and it'll go quicker than that. But you see here how the red of the taillight really works here. You don't need much. This is just a shape, a few shapes. It's not too complex of a thing. And now I thought to have just a human standing out, like, wait, what is that? Looking at the sky. Oh my god, imagine being that person. Crazy. This is what I love about art, just the story. I just love doing this stuff. And actually, there's coming a new course, apart from my cinematic design course, out on Evident. It's called Visual Storytelling, and it's by Adrian Verlan. Adrian Virlan, Virlan. And he's a really good storyteller with his art, and he's made a pretty cool course on that. So hope to see you guys there as well. And of course, if you get the membership on Evident, you get access to all the courses and everything that I do, and a bunch of more cool stuff. So it's only $39 a month right now. Didn't know that you lived there. It's so beautiful. Yeah, it's here in Norway, but actually I live in Sweden. I have this cabin as well, or this farmhouse, but my main sort of stay is in Gothenburg, Sweden. So if you're around there, let me know. I could meet you up. Are these mountains the same you choose from the Google Panorama view for the educational video about references in digital art? Yes, they are. I love to just walk around here and just take a bunch of photos and videos and stuff on all this cool stuff here. So now I made a new layer and I put it as linear dodge, and the brush mode as linear dodge as well. So anytime I'm painting with that, it's going to be the super light thing. And I'm using the brush there, but actually afterward I'm gonna use just regular soft brush because I thought that worked better. So I'm thinking this character could like shine a flashlight or something. There's a lot of atmospheric effects you can do with this. Anaga Lear or Ayer says, how generous of you to put up these videos for free here. I learned more than you than my 3 years of college. A big thank you. Well, thank you, Anaga. Hope you're enjoying what I'm doing, and keep creating. Amazing environment. Ever consider doing a plein air painting? Absolutely, I love plein air. I'm working now with oil paintings just to get better at that. And I thought to build this sort of chest or something that I can bring with me, like what's that called? What's that name? Easel. Yeah, like a portable easel I can bring with me up in the mountains here and just do some plein air. That would be really cool with oils. So you see here, I'm just adding in more of that atmospheric thing, and the light from the car and the character is, or the flashlight, is lighting up here. And also the color of this linear dodge is a little bit yellow. You can see there to the left, I'm having this sort of like yellow, orangey tint. And that really helps build a pretty cool balance here, or a cool contrast, I should say, actually, between the blue of the background, the cold blue, and the warm light from both the car and also the flashlight. And now I'm adding in these reflections. So I thought about making this a rainy scene. That would be even cooler, I think. Make it even more atmospheric and interesting. Yeah, so now I actually I hit Shift, Alt, and Control or Command, and E, and that will just stamp everything into a new layer. And I switched it up, and it's a motion blur, and now I have a perfectly good reflection of everything. So I can just erase from here, and I just use some part of it, and that will make it look like it's reflecting whatever's above there, which is pretty cool technique. You do this with like marshes and anything that's wet, even lakes and stuff, maybe with islands and things like that. but now it looks like it's a wet area. And now I'm thinking about doing rain, and I do have some rain brushes in the Evident brush pack there, the 70 and the 171 there. And you can find different ways of doing rain. You know, you can make some blur, you can warp it with free transform, you can erase some parts here and there. And you see here now I'm just like covering the whole scene with that, and I'm making the brush a little bit smaller, and especially around the light. It's gonna be more rain because the light is shining up the rain. And now I'm doing a little bit of Gaussian blur, and I'm erasing now as well, just a little bit here and there, just to not have like the same flat, rainy texture everywhere. So you see I added some more of that sharper rain around the flashlight there. So now I'm just adding some grass and stuff, fixing up the values. Vincent Yusan says, "Wait, I thought we must not color pick. You told us in the previous video." Well, the color pick thing, that's from when you're doing color studies, or you're doing studies and you want to learn how to pick certain colors and do that yourself. Then you shouldn't do color picking. But if you want to just create a quick, a quick concept out of something, you could take a photo and color pick from that. That's totally fine. It's all about studies. Like you're doing a study specifically to learn something from it, and you won't learn if you're using color pick. So that's the only thing. But if you're doing a concept, then you're learning how to create a concept, how to create a painting. Of course, use color pick. You know that because that's the tool. That's a part of the tool that you can use here in Photoshop. So now I'm just doing some of those bushes there. It just helps a little bit to make this scene look kind of real, or that it's actually there, you know, not too flat and boring. I love these 10 minutes videos. Please keep making them. I also like your vlog extras. Have a nice day. Oscar Jäger says. Thank you, Oscar. I love where you live, Red Rebel says. It's like you are in one of your paintings. And you look like a different person now. Yes, indeed. Where do you get your music? Cortland Price asks. I actually compose my own music. Quick question. Cindy Nguyen says. Would you also do a video for character concept designs? How to train that or so would be awesome. Yeah, I do have some character concept arts and stuff in my cinematic design course. I have a full module on that. Creating characters and bringing them to life, like making a bunch of thumbnails and creating armor and weapons and rendering materials and all kinds of stuff for that. So definitely do check that out. And you can get access to that for just $39 a month right now. Just join evident.com and get the annual pass, and you'll be able to get all that. But for YouTube, I could definitely do something, create a character tutorial. You know, there's a lot I could do. It's just about finding the time to do some free stuff for you guys. So yeah, now I'm just adding on more of that light reflection. And if you squint your eyes, you can start like blur your vision. You can start seeing kind of what's going on in the scene. And also that's a good way to see if there's too much happening. Like if you need to make make it less complex. That's what you see when you squint your eyes, and that's a technique you can use. I think that works pretty nicely. And I thought it needed a better separation between the ground and the top there. What is that noise? Huh, probably the refrigerator. Question, can you place a reference photo outside the canvas? Yeah, you can when you're doing study. You can, like, you see up there where it says Untitled 1. I should actually save this, but where it says that, you can drag that down and you will get its own window. So you can use two windows side by side and you can do a study like that, or a reference, or whatever you need. So now I'm just adding a little bit of color to his jacket, just to make it a little bit more interesting than having, you know, just black. Mastered Attempt says, thanks so much for taking the time and effort to make these videos and share them with us. It's super helpful for me to see how you break things down so I can then apply it to my own paintings. By the way, I would love to see a video about how to use your brush pack. I've looked through the set some, but I'm sure there are many more features than what I'm using. Thanks. Yeah, definitely. I actually have that video coming up. A video on how to use my brush pack, and, you know, tips and tricks about that, and just about brushes overall. So stay tuned for that. Life says, or asks, do you choose your brushes randomly or not? They're not random. I do have a purpose with it. It's like cooking, you know. Sometimes you need some lemon stuff, and you add some lemon, and it's like you taste it, and it's maybe a bit too sweet. So maybe you can add some salt, maybe, to balance it out. Or it's too watery, or then you can add some starch, or, you know, vice versa. It's always about those kind of small tweaks that you do. And the same thing with painting. You start to use these brushes that have a different flavor to them, or different effect. And so it doesn't become random. Even if sometimes you do rely on a lot, actually, for artists, we do rely a lot on something called happy accidents. And those happy accidents happen when you just do something and you don't even know what you're doing, really. And then it just turns out to be awesome. You know, it's an accident that had happened, but turned out great. And that's how you should view brushes and tools like this. You just try it out and see what works. Because then you know in the future, like, I used this brush in the past and it worked like this. Actually worked out pretty cool. So maybe I can use it now again. So now I just added that sort of thing there in the background, or sorry, on the back of the car, just like a cover or something. Also add a little bit more story to this. He's carrying something and he's going out with his flashlight and looking at this. Maybe coming home from work. It's a rainy day. You should always think about your story, especially now during Halloween. Think about your story. The stories you want to tell with your paintings. So join the challenge, and definitely do think about what it is you're trying to tell. What kind of creepy thing. Just adding some brushwork there on the tree. Veronica Estock says, I absolutely love all your videos. Thank you for giving the time to make these You're such an inspiration. Happy to hear that, Veronica. I hope you're painting and you're improving your skills. Love the setup, and what a beautiful painting. Blender for visual artists would be wonderful. Yeah, I asked on the previous video, paint this epic landscape in 10 minutes. If you guys are interested in Blender for artists, I do use Blender, and I've used 3D a lot in the past for professional work. And I asked if you guys are interested in learning some of that. There's lots I can do. To show you, that is. And here I'm using that technique that I show you guys how to get a more artistic look. I'm using blending, this mixer brush. Gets a very atmospheric effect there. Kind of looks like a cloud almost, or this ethereal effect on the shoulder of that thing. So you see here, I've already, since layer 5, I merged everything together into one painting or one layer, and then I'm just painting over that. And then I'm just adding on stuff here and there. I do that whenever I'm happy with where the scene is right now. But you know, you can still keep everything in it's the same layers and just group them together. Like for example, let's say I wanted to have this foreground, I wanted to have the car or something be much bigger and the person be much bigger. Then I can have the layer to do that. But now I don't, so. But that's fine, you know, you should definitely try to be more bold and commit to what you do. Commit to your strokes and not be too afraid to merge things together and really do work non-destructively. Or sorry, work destructively. You just create and build and you see where it goes. Taylor Torres says, creates one layer, proceeds to paint the whole thing in the background layer. Great video. Yeah, so what I said, like you just create one layer and you commit to it. You know, you just paint on it and you don't worry too much. Even if here I am doing more layers, but yeah, I don't care. We have layers for a reason. So yeah, I'm just adding some lighting now to the bushes here. And this painting is coming up to a close pretty soon. Took about 50 minutes or something. I thought it was pretty cool, very creepy. It's a fitting season for that, fitting time. I have one more painting for you guys after this. Not in the same video, but another tutorial on how to make creepy painting. So now I actually changed the brush mode to color, and I made this foreground grass and bush and stuff a little bit greenish. I think I overdid this a little bit. I have a tendency to do that whenever I see, oh, that looks pretty cool. I just go way over over the top. But what you can do is actually duplicate this layer 13, and do this, and then you can sort of like mix between the opacity, and you can just see if you like what you did. If not, you can just take away that layer. Now it looks more comic-y, you know, like very saturated. Or not very, but more saturated. Mr. Farah says, you flip my brain when you flip the canvas. I flip the canvas a lot just to see any mistakes, and I'm looking at the composition and everything to see like if there's anything I can fix. Because if I look at the painting too long in one view, then it can quickly become my brain quickly becomes what's it called? Used to it. You know, I become used to it. Namthure Malangmai says, Me tries to draw a rock. The result looks like a potato. Yeah, it's just keep painting, keep doing studies. Start sketching rocks and paint rocks, and you'll see in the end you'll be able to paint rocks so well that other people will say the same about you. Like, you're painting rocks so well. So here I'm seeing this layer here, turning it on and off, just to see if what I did was good. But I'm noticing the colors were a bit off. So you'll see here I'm gonna be tweaking this a bit. And I did paint more on it, so that's why I should actually have duplicated that layer. I think the cursor disappeared. I think it does that sometimes for some reason on this program. I use ScreenFlow and it works pretty well most of the time, but sometimes it does this. So I think what am I doing? There we go. So I'm just making the taillights redder. I want that red to really pop. Hey guys, do let me know if you have any more questions. You can just ask them in the comments. Get a lot of comments, so it's a good, I think this is a good format. Let me know if you like this, where I show you how to paint this thing and answer your questions and stuff like that. And of course I mix that up with doing some painting in real life, or real time I mean. But this is real time, so yeah. Landeka says, nobody. Swedish person in Norway on English. Alright, I'm a cowboy now. Yeah, and actually I have Lebanese blood, so it's pretty funny. Swedish person in Norway on English. Alright, I'm a cowboy now. So there I'm just doing some unsharp mask, and I'm adding a new layer with fill overlay neutral color. So it's a gray layer with overlay layer mode. I go to add noise, and I decrease the opacity, and I'm gonna add some Gaussian blur to this, just a little bit, because that has that like cinematic, filmic effect, like a grain that you get when you're recording videos and stuff. And I'll just decrease the opacity so you can hardly see it, but it's actually there. It's just one of these final touches that I do. And now I thought maybe I can add some birds, crows, kind of like a Hitchcock movie. I think that's pretty cool. So I'm not making them on another layer, which is not so smart, but yeah. I haven't even saved yet. I should do that. I don't know why I don't save. Be better than me, guys, and save. Save your work. Your music reminds me of the soundtrack to How to Train Your Dragon. Thank you so much. That's a great soundtrack. Is that Alan Powell? Oh, who is that? Yeah, messing up these birds a bit. So some messed up birds. So yeah, guys, this is closing up to the end here. I'm just doing some final tweaks, and we have a concept here, creepy concept. The All Hallows Eve. I hope to see your guys' submissions in the Evident Design group on the platform. Alright then guys, so I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I hope you have a pleasant Halloween and pleasant rest of your weekend. So I'll see you guys on the next episode. Take it easy for now.